we're going into the fat, right?
Yes.
Look at that little bruise you got right there.
I know.
You know, remember the one time I found, see that bruise to the left of her belly button? That's from a needle, right?
Honestly, so what's going on?
Tell me it's from a needle really quick.
Yes, it's from a needle.
Remember that one time I found that athlete with the like little bruise marks next to their belly button, and I never made a video on it, but I made another video on it where I didn't bring up that extremely obvious mark next to their belly button.
Whatever.
You don't want to talk about it, but I want to bring it up, and everyone's go, "Who is it? Who's he talking about?" Oh, you all know who this is.
The adrenaline rush that just ran straight through me. I am so I'm feeling jacked right now.
Doesn't anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills!
Yo, 13 months ago I put up a video. The video got 1,123 comments. Not views, not likes, but freaking comments. I pinned one right at the top, and the video that I'm talking about is the Tia, Toomey, Natty or Not. And I said, she's retired, right? Which means that I can make one of these, right? And she's back. She's going to the Rogue Invitational. Making the comeback after her pregnancy, having the kid, and the first thing that I thought was she's just trying to rip Laura Horvath right off the top of the podium. If she beats her at the Rogue Invitational, then there's no way to think that she wouldn't have beat her at the CrossFit Games, which, by the way, I think Tia probably would have beaten her at the CrossFit Games, but it's just like the ever-powering, ever-so dominant Tia Toomey to come on in and assert her dominance one more time. She may as well have won 7 CrossFit Games titles if she also wins the Rogue Invitational, right?
Ask any racer, any real racer.
And that's something that I said in my original video. I said that along with a handful of pictures, people didn't like this. People didn't think that it was fair for me to say, look at this picture, this picture, this picture, this picture, this picture. There's a big difference right here between these two pictures. What was that? I mean, she was at the top of the sport over here. And now she's way past everybody else. And there is also this giant change in her physique. I mean, you would think that because she was in the top of the sport here, that she would have already kind of peaked out physically. And then all of a sudden she changes. Everything changes. Everyone loses their mind. And I said, it's not the only thing that changed. It was also her personality. She went from being this shy, oh, whatever, no, I'm Tia, to this dominant, I'm gonna kill everybody freaking force. Everyone's like, no, you don't get it. And it's like, all right, well, I'm coming off my testosterone right now, and I feel like I've leveled back a little bit. There's something about having that in you, having that sort of a drive, that you're just a little bit more elevated. And you're probably thinking, yeah, Andrew, we remember the video. What are you doing? Just trying to get a bunch of views on this video? Well, yeah, that's always the goal. Get a bunch of views on the video. But today, people didn't like my pictures last time. People didn't like my assumptions last time. Well, I have concrete proof that there is something going on here. And I don't have pictures, I got a video.
Yes!
Again. Let me play that video for you right now.
When Shane first was playing around with this, I couldn't actually pull this back, so I don't even know if I can pull this back today. Please do not try this at home. This is puppy. This is dangerous.
She saw a puppy. Did you see anything? Did you notice anything at all? Videos from like 2020. It's dangerous. Don't try this at home.
Oh!
Yeah, maybe
Oh my God, Shane, I did it!
Relax.
But I pulled it back. I am that much stronger. I could never do that. Shane, how long ago was that? That was like 15 months ago.
That was just a good add-in right there. 15 months ago, she was unable to pull back the string on this bow. I heard there's a lot of pressure that's required to do that. Just a weird coincidence that she's that much stronger 15 months later, isn't it? Why are you saying that, Andrew? What's the weird coincidence? Well, did you guys not notice those 3 little dots below her stomach? Yeah, the other day, I think it was, I don't know, last Thursday or something, Alexis was doing her morning peptide ritual, so I walked up to the camera and I said, talk to me about this. But wait, you're talking about that bruise next to your belly button. What's up with that bruise, Alexis? Tell me about that thing. And she goes, well, yeah, it happens because I'm beating the crap out of my stomach. I'm giving myself 4 shots every single day. And by the way, she's doing really freaking well. She can squat a little bit. She can walk around a little bit. She's way ahead of the curve. I don't know, she's moving like 200% of the recovery rate. People are saying, don't take peptides while you recover from a surgery. Well, I don't know, dude, but she's doing freaking fantastic. No pain and she's walking. But the doctor said, hey, if you can walk and this bone is already healing, then you might as well do it. But we're not here to talk about Alexis' Alexis's recovery, we're here to talk about those little marks that she gets. That's called PIP, post-injection site pain. When you have the sun down on you, or maybe there's a change in temperature from cold to hot, it's going to show up a little bit redder if you don't really have a great reaction to the little insulin pin that you throw in. Because these insulin pins go in, I don't know, 2 inches outside your belly button. They're supposed to be done subcutaneously, not intramuscularly like testosterone's supposed to be. And because there's this liquid that isn't going in all that deep, in sites that are somewhat kind of sensitive, they leave these little red bumps or bruises. And you can see them in Toomey's video right here, where she's walking around in the sun talking about how strong she is. You cannot deny the fact that there are little dots down there. You can't deny it. Where people are like, Andrew, you're just drawing conclusions between these pictures and you're trying to say her personality changed. There are red dots there, and there's no denying the red dots. I'm here to tell you what those red dots could be. The only person who will know what those red dots are Tia, probably Shane. Those two know what the red dots are. But I got 4 things that they could be. Number 1 is a peptide. We've talked about peptides. That's what Alexis is doing, right? You throw those things in, same spot. All these things go. HGH, that's another one. Insulin and blood thinners. Those are things that can be put into the fat. They aren't being shot intramuscularly. They're supposed to be shot subcutaneously. And I'm going to tell you about what some of these things are. We haven't talked all that extensively on these topics, so it's worth brushing over a little bit. I'm going to go to one of my favorite sources for this stuff, steroid.com. Yes, steroid.com. First thing I want to talk about with insulin is that it is a very important hormone in terms of health and your body's proper function. As a performance tool, it can really aid in building muscle, quite unlike many hormones, but it is risky. Insulin can have an appeal to some athletes who are not physique-minded, because CrossFitters, they're not physique-minded, they're performance-minded. It says that insulin is not detectable on any drug test. It isn't detectable. You can't find it. Wow. I can take it right now. You take a drug test, blood test, whatever. The biggest, baddest, most expensive, looking for everything, GCMS freaking test ever, and they're not going to be able to detect insulin because it's in everybody. Some athletes will use this hormone in conjunction with HGH and perhaps a very low dose of testosterone and thyroid medication in order to avoid testing issues. Normally, their total insulin dose will, however, be rather low. All right, so we know that it can't be detectable. We know that athletes use it, not even just the physique ones, because in the past, I've known of insulin as something that bodybuilders use to help shuttle the sugar that you're going to take right after or before a workout into the muscle to give you freaking massive arms. I also know that it's incredibly dangerous. If you give yourself too much or too little, you can just freaking yourself right there. It's very dangerous, and you probably need a doctor or someone watching you closer. You just have to know what you're doing. So don't do this, but people do it all the time to get performance-enhancing benefits. Here we go. High levels of insulin have been directly linked to enhanced protein synthesis. High levels of insulin have also shown to significantly promote increased bone density as well as increasing production of insulin-like growth factor. Remember IGF, IGF-1. Remember that stuff. A highly anabolic hormone in its own right and structurally similar to insulin. The functions and traits of insulin do not end there. This hormone has been shown to facilitate increasing LH and FSH. This increase in these two hormones can potentially increase the production of testosterone in the body. Although LH and FSH promotion is not probably strong, it is notable enough to mention. And I should add in there, especially in women. Any bump that you're going to get from the LH and FSH, which are those metrics that tell you whether or not your balls are working if you were to get blood work done, which, by the way, if I were to go get my blood work done right now, mine would be shut off because I just used testosterone for the past year. California hormones. But if you have any sort of an increase, it's going to give you a little bit of a testosterone bump, and a little goes a long way when you're a woman. I'm not saying that that's what these 3 bumps are, but I'm saying that it's got the potential that that's what those 3 bumps are, or even one of the 3 bumps. It could be this one's insulin, this one's going to be a peptide, and this one's going to be human growth hormone. Give me all 3 of them. I don't know what they are. I'm just saying that they're there, and you can't deny that they're there. But I told you to kind of hold up on the IGF-1 because we talked about peptides. This one is insulin. Let's just put a bookmark on insulin. It's dangerous, it works, it's possible. Put it over there. Next up, we got peptides. I talked about IGF-1. California Peptides is a sponsor of mine. I've brought that up before. California Hormones, California Peptides. If I ever wanted to take something like an HCG to get my balls back in gear and bump up those LH and FSH things, I could take it right there. But they have on their website a handful of things, all of which are able to be injected subcutaneously. When it comes to the IGF-1 right there, we're talking CJC1295. It's kind of the peptide correlate to an HGH. It could be a BPC157, TB500, the things that Alexis is taking. Those are the things that help her recover. cover. They also help with gut inflammation. They help with your joints to feel better. You don't even need to be hurt to take those things. You can just take them and feel better in general. There are numerous things on the California Peptide website that you could be taking and shooting subcutaneously, all of which are going to 100% have some sort of a performance-enhancing benefit, just like the insulin. Some of them work in conjunction, and those are two things that it could be. The third thing is going to be HGH. You know, that stuff that the Liver King would spend $11,000 a month on. To backtrack a little bit, those things can be found on a blood test. However, they are only in your bloodstream or your system for what, 4 days? They have a half-life of something like 8 hours. You're shooting them in with water. They're in, they're out, they're gone. So somebody could test at the CrossFit Games on a Sunday. Let's say you podium at the CrossFit Games. You're getting your piss test done, maybe a blood test, and it's already gone if you had taken it last time on a Monday. So Monday to Sunday, 7-day, 6-day workaround, you're good. No problem. You're probably good to go in even 4 days. So I can't find insulin. It's really hard to test positive for a peptide, which is why they are illegal, but you never see anybody test positive for them because you're a freaking idiot if you test positive for a peptide.
Idiot.
I'm not telling you to take peptides, but I'm telling you that it's very possible that one of those 3 bumps or all 3 of those bumps are from peptides. Back to growth hormone. This is the one that the Liver King spent all those money on, which is why I think that it's only something that the upper echelon of people in the CrossFit world or sports or movies or whatever in the world are taking. The Liver King spends $11,000 a month. Do you have that laying around to take and just shoot into your belly? And when it comes to growth hormone, you don't even know if it's freaking working. Everything that you can read on growth hormone, let me see if I can find it on this website, steroid.com. Human growth hormone is one of the most beneficial hormones on earth and continually proves to be one of the most beneficial in both medical and performance circles. As a performance enhancing tool, HGH is one of the more misunderstood items. As we have found, you will need a lot to truly produce phenomenal muscle growth, but this doesn't make low dose use irrelevant for performance purposes. The healing, metabolic, and rejuvenation characteristics of this hormone can provide are remarkable. There is hardly an athlete alive who could not benefit from such traits. However, once again, we're faced with the issue of quality, which is precisely why many have been disappointed with low-dose HGH. The product was inferior, and as a result, they obtained inferior results. With high-quality human growth hormone product, we can guarantee the results will be amazing if the individual can afford to commit to the long-term use. Long-term use, like 12 to 18 months of $11,000 a month. Can you do that? Put down a freaking Porsche amount of money on a stack of freaking little bottles that you're gonna need to freaking do every single morning and carry with you all over the planet? Get caught in the airport like Sylvester Stallone? I don't think so. And it also says that such an individual will also find the results provided by HGH are long-lasting. Changes and benefits provided by this hormone will not disappear once they are discontinued. So that's good. And by the way, if you want to test athletes for this, it's some crazy, stupid, expensive test. So if you're gonna test a bunch of athletes for growth hormone, good luck. It's something like what, $5,000 a test? Test all the athletes at the CrossFit Games. Do you really think that they want to spend what's 80 times 5? I don't know, $400,000 on growth hormone tests? I don't think so. They're also assuming that not everyone's going to be able to afford this stuff. So maybe they're going to go the peptide route, get the CJC1295, which boosts up the IGF-1 levels, which gives you a similar HGH sort of effect. And also maybe throw some insulin in there, and we're down to the 3 things. It was the insulin, the HGH, and the possible peptides. What are those 3 marks? I don't know. Is it a blood thinner? I don't know that much about blood thinners. Maybe it's a blood thinner. I do know that that's where it goes. I know that it's shot subcutaneously. Why would your blood be thick though? Is your blood thick from taking EPO? Is your blood thick from taking some sort of a testosterone? I know that your blood viscosity increases when you take some sort of performance-enhancing drug. That's why people go to blood clinics to donate blood when they're on performance enhancers, notably like, come on, what is it? The horse drug, equipoise, EQ. You take that stuff, you gotta go donate blood because you got so many red blood cells, which is good if you're someone who needs a lot of blood in your body because that's why you take EQ in the first place. But we're left with 4 things, all of which it could be. No one's going to know what those dots are except for her and maybe Shane. I'm just making a video talking about the fact that they are legitimately right there. And I can already hear people in the comments, just like the last one. There are people who are saying, yeah, make more of these videos, more. There'll be people saying, Andrew, how dare you? That's razor burn.
Is that what you think? You think?
Those 3 dots, everyone has 3 dots. Have you ever seen anyone nick their face?
It doesn't matter.
Like, yeah. No, that's not what those things are. It's possible, but it's not very possible. I would give it like a 5% chance. Those look like injection marks if you ask me. Ask anybody who has any sort of an idea about anything that has to do with the little injections that you do. And hell, I've taken CJC1295 before too. When I was in my first 6 months at TRT, I was doing CJC1295 as well. And I had those little red dots by my belly. That's what they look like. There's a video with Alexis that I put in the beginning of this video, and that's what they look like. And Andrew, what is the purpose? Why do you make this video? Well, I want a lot of views. Duh. I want you guys to go follow my Instagram account. Duh. HillerFit 2.0. Did you see the one the other day? I picked up 800 followers when I asked, so I have to ask. If I ask, I'll put the link in the description. Go click on the freaking thing and follow the stupid Instagram account. But I will never forget, I was at the affiliate. The year had to have been 2017, 18, 19, something like that. I don't know the exact point in time, but I know that I had a member come up to me and say, Andrew, I'm going to stop doing the gym programming and I'm going to start doing Thunder Bro. And I'm thinking, what? What is Thunder Bro? Why? Well, Dave Lipson writes it. He's a former level 1 flow master, and he's doing it to get CrossFitters jacked. And I'm like, that sounds cool. So I looked into it a little bit, and after 5 seconds, go, well, this dude's using some sort of hormone replacement therapy. Fast forward a couple of years, and he's even said that he has taken exogenous substances. But at that moment in time, when that member was coming up to me and I did that research on this thing, he was not open about his use. I looked everywhere for it. And all you did is the same thing I did with Tia. You look at a picture, and it goes, why is this dude now getting into his mid to upper 30s and more jacked than he was when he was at the top of the CrossFit game? And why am I now having to talk to my member about the fact that they're not gonna look like this if you just do this Thunder Bro program? And then it got worse and worse and worse as it went on. And now, because he has a hormone clinic, is he open and honest about his usage? I don't know if he has one or if he is in conjunction with one, but there's some sort of a hormone clinic involved. And I just know that that is not something that he always talked about. And this is why this stuff drives me crazy. Because people like Tia can walk around these 3 little dots on their stomach and just think, oh, look, everyone loves everybody. And you're going to think that I don't like Tia. I love everyone who's ever. Barry Bonds is my favorite baseball player. Ricky Garrard is probably my favorite CrossFitter.
I'll skip more whale noises, dude.
But the things that these people have done is they have admitted their use of performance-enhancing drugs. Ricky, sure, he did it after he popped, but still, he owned it, and now he's back. And you know how hard it would be to take 4 years off of a sport and then come back in and do it again? How many of you have dedicated 4 years to anything other than, like, your working kids? I've only been doing this crap for, 2 years? I don't even know where I'll be tomorrow, let alone 2 years from now. So just like the freaking Bryce Smith video and the Mike Whittius video, I don't like when there are things there that you can tell just aren't streamlined thought. Ricky owns it and he keeps on moving. Okay, that's good. When everything was cool with the Liver King, he fessed up to it, and then you think that he's just talking about something he's always talked about, and we're cool. And then he lied again when he said that he was off of his TRT and everything, but he really wasn't. This is what happens. You lose a bunch of weight. I've lost freaking 15 pounds since I stopped using TRT. Bryce Smith, he's open and he loves everybody. He wants to tell stories, and he does all this research, but he hates Andrew Hiller. Why does he hate Andrew Hiller? Well, he's got a vested interest in Danny Spiegel. I don't like when things don't line up.
Clearly
Sometimes I think there's just a humble manipulation of circumstance.
And I especially don't like when they then affect the people that I care about the most, namely the people in my affiliate. When I make these videos, I act like I'm talking to the people at my affiliate. Andrew, should I do Marcus Filly's programming? Yes, I think you should do Marcus Filly's programming. Why? Well, it depends. If this person's all dinged up and they just want to do some functional bodybuilding, sure, do Marcus Filly's programming. That's cool. Andrew, should I do Mayhem's programming? Yeah, I think that it would make sense to do Mayhem's programming. It's a bunch of volume. You want to go to the semifinals? Sure, go ahead. I always recommend that everybody stays with the affiliate, but sometimes people need specific things. Andrew, should I go do proven programming? Well, they just lost 2 athletes this year from doing too much volume. They have one person who seemingly does better than everybody else for some freaking reason, and all I want to know is what the reason is. Is the programming great? I don't know. But all I'm saying is that there are 3 dots on her stomach right there. I've made speculations before, and I just want to know what those things are at the moment. Welcome back to the CrossFit world. Tia Toomey, Andrew Hiller, out.
Please smash that like button, no one touches there now. Legend.
Just do it! Make your dreams come true! Just do it! Some people dream of success, while you're gonna wake up and work hard at it. Nothing is impossible. No, what are you waiting for? Do it! Just do it! Yes, you can!